My name is Bob Troiano, and about 15 years ago, I worked for the city and was director of something called the Public Building Authority. And Mayor Cianci had a strong interest in the city and has done a lot of great things and a lot of terrible things. Hired one of the nation's largest and most successful sports stadium consulting firms to come and advise the city so that he could lure the Pawtucket Red Sox to Providence. We spent about $150,000 on that exercise at the time. And we found out exactly what many of the earlier speakers have already informed us of. And that is, it is a concrete stadium, essentially a walled fortress, where 10 or 15,000 people come. They participate in a shielded event, and then they go home. There is no spillover, unfortunately, to the general community. There is no economic development, as a number of other speakers have already said. The benefit, those who benefit are very limited, but we know them very well. They're the owners of the team and the park concessionaires. If you want to make some money on the stadium, invest in parking lots, okay? Other than that, it does not produce revenue to the city. And if you look at the structure that has been described here, the stadium becomes a loss leader to support the interests of the ownership team. An earlier speaker made a really beautiful point. What is the return on investment to these wonderful former Rhode Island residents who now are not paying taxes here anymore, but are investing their resources in Florida and Palm Beach? What is the return of investment they expect on the team? Because they want the team, but not the stadium. They want us to own the stadium. And then, should we as partners in a public-private partnership not expect the same return on investment? Or are we just schmucks? Are we just the schmucks on the bus? One of the problems with the process as defined and described to us by our elected officials is that we're in a passive position. Even the elected officials act as if they are passive. They don't know all the facts yet. They're waiting. They haven't made their mind up. I say that's nonsense. I say we all have been in this state long enough to understand how insider deals work. And if we want to be proactive, we should consider that the public already owns McCoy Stadium. Why, from a Rhode Island point of view? Let's not be so parochial. 5 miles away, we have McCoy Stadium. Why wouldn't we want to keep that state treasure, that public treasure, and then couple it with a community-owned sports franchise? There are between 5 and 10 communities around the United States, like Green Bay Packers, that we all know about, that have community-owned models, not-for-profit models. We could do that here. We're small enough. Maybe we're not smart enough, but we could get smarter. So I think this is not the project for us. Let them. The best thing that could happen, in reality, in my point of view, is that they leave. They take their ball team, they go someplace, they leave us with the stadium, and then we as a community, a statewide community, buy a franchise, create a franchise, as long as they're outside of the franchise district that we're permitted here, and we go ahead and create a AA or a AAA team. Yes, sir.